have a special edition drop list, San Diego Comic-Con style, so stay tuned. Welcome back, Gainers, to another incredible, exciting, fantastic episode of ComicGains! And if you're new to the show, I'm Adam.
I'm Zach, and this is Princess Royal Highness, looking very lovely today, just like usual, doing that princess wave. You do it too. Bow down respect, and of course, there's our mascot, the San Diego Comic-Con dog, Coco.
All right, guys. So today is Monday, and actually, San Diego Comic-Con 2023 just wrapped up yesterday, and hopefully there's a bunch of great announcements. But today we have a special one because last year in 2022, there was a bunch of huge announcements at San Diego Comic-Con, which also made a lot of books trending because of these huge announcements. And we are here to report 1 year later on all trending San Diego Comic-Con announcements. Actually, 5 of the San Diego Comic-Con trending announcements, because that's what we got around here to do. And Zach's going to try 5 different drinks today.
No, it's only going to be one, guys. That'd be too ambitious for me. This is a sparkling water, pure LaCroix. It says 0 sodium, and it's innocent. Nothing's innocent, guys.
What's it look like?
Nothing innocent. It looks like this. I was getting to that.
Oh,
super shiny. It's 0 calorie, guys. So let's try it. It's carbonated.
It's just water. You got to pay extra for the bubbles. The bubbly.
It tastes like nothing.
Like sparkling water. What is your favorite sparkling water? Leave it down below in the comments.
You know what else is sparkling?
Us on Whatnot?
Hanging out with us on Whatnot.
It's also pure as well. So if you guys want to come hang out with us every Saturday, the Princess kicks off the show now at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, where you have the Wheel of Gains, where there's always a chance to win a slab, and dollar starts, 30-second auctions, and the Princess hosts the entire show herself. Sometimes we're in the background. And if you stay up a little bit later at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, you get to hang out with Adam and Zach. We have a show together with the legendary Wall of Gains, where everyone's a winner, and we give away a slab every episode show. And everything is also a dollar start, 30 seconds. So it's the best place on Whatnot to get those
Get those gains.
Get those gains. All right, let's get back to the list. Okay, it's like we said, special list. All of these books were trending because of special announcements made at San Diego Comic-Con last year. And we put all of these into a list from the least drop all the way down to the #1 book of the week to the biggest drop book. And this is kind of special because I know this year in 2023, because of the actor strike, none of the actors will be there, and a lot of these books are trending because of actor announcements that they made last year. So let's get into it. These are all big books too. These are some of the biggest books to ever be on the drop list. We'll kick it off. Number 5, Daredevil. Number 1, we're talking OG, the original, 1964, Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, first appearance of Foggy Nelson and Karen Page. And
of course,
the Daredevil in that great yellow costume. He should have worn that costume a couple times later on, right?
Yeah.
Bring it back
a couple times.
For away games.
Yeah. Matt Murdock or Matthew
Murdock. Well, back in last year at San Diego Comic-Con, they announced that the Daredevil Born Again series, which was going to be on Disney Plus, was going to be, and they confirmed it with bringing out Charlie Cox onto the stage, and he was going to reprise his role as Daredevil. And obviously we've seen him since then in She-Hulk, which was a little more goofier than we're used to seeing him in. He did have Spider-Man No Way Home, which was a great cameo at the end where he catches that brick and he's like, I must be a really good lawyer. So really cool. I know the Born Again TV show is going to be 20 plus episodes. So it's going to be huge, longer. I don't know. This is a tough one for me. I'm really happy to see Charlie Cox come back, but the Daredevil Netflix show was so good. I just have a hard time seeing Disney be able to top that. I don't know, with the grit that it was and kind of what it needed to be. I don't know. It's going to be tough, which sounds like they're going to start over from the beginning and not really use a lot of what was done in that show to do it. So we'll have to see. But People were a little skeptic after the She-Hulk thing going on, even though I thought that part was cool. Daredevil was a little goofy in the beginning of, when he first came out and became more serious after like Frank Miller and all that good stuff. But it has landed itself on the drop list. It is a blue chip key though too.
Yes. It's probably one of the cheapest blue chip keys, besides maybe one other book. And very interesting, fun fact, issue 1 he was wearing a yellow suit. Issue 7 he actually got his classic OG or classic suit that everybody knows him in, the red suit. I don't know why they changed it. It probably wasn't really filling with the fans. It's pretty interesting. I'm glad they made the change though. But every once in a while I do want to see me wear that yellow suit. It's kind of funny. Kind of almost like golden age kind of look to it.
A little bit. Yeah, a little bit. Looks like a trapeze artist.
Ah, yes. Well, a year ago, in a 7.0, this book was a double one to find. It was selling for $8,875. Now, recent sale, $6,600. Pretty big drop for a blue chip key. The range was $6,490, and the high was $8,879. Average sale is $7,333. That's a 26% drop. Kind of standard. It shouldn't be a very big drop for this blue chip of a key, so that's pretty nice. If that had made any sense at all, it's a book that shouldn't drop, but if it drops, it only drops a little bit. That's what I'm getting at. I would highly recommend you eventually getting this book, getting all the blue chip keys for the Marvel line of the 60s. It's a pretty smart idea. Yeah. Very good investment.
I hear what you're putting down. Get it? All right, guys. Next on the list, and this was kind of a big surprise. I expected this one to be closer to number 1, but this is Thor, issue 134 from 1966. Also Jack Kirby and Stan Lee doing this great key. This is first appearance of the High Evolutionary. It also is first appearance of Man Beast, Fafnir, the Dragon, and the Wundagore Mountains as well. Probably not as popular, but at San Diego Comic-Con last year, seeing a trending of this, actor Jakuta Iwagi came out in costume on stage with the other actors to show that he was going to be the High Evolutionary in the Guardians of the Galaxy 3 movie, and did a really good job in it. I would have thought it would have had a little bit bigger drop because of the movie already being over, although the movie was super successful. And if it makes you feel any better about this book, in May of 2023, James Gunn actually tweeted that the High Evolutionary was actually imprisoned and alive in nowhere. So he may return in the future.
But where is he? Nowhere.
He definitely returned on the drop list, though, so Zach will hit you with them numbers. Pow!
All right, great. This is a very evolutionary book. I don't know what I'm dealing with. In a CGC 9.0, it was selling for about $1,158 a year ago. Now, in a 9.0, it's $690. Not bad for a Silver Age high-grade book. Anything above a 7 is considered, in my opinion, high-grade. Because think about the journey you have to go through. Range is $690 to $1,350. Average sale is $1,003. It's a 40% drop. This could be a very good book to get into because I believe that these big super villains that have long-lasting, reach in the MCU, like Thanos and Loki, have a very good resale value. It has a very good constant rise in price, and the High Evolutionary could be one of those villains. Also King, potentially, maybe not anymore because of recent news, but this is a very, very decent book to get, and not a bad price at all to get it at for a very high grade book. So yeah, I would consider it. It would be a very good consideration.
All right, next up on number 3, we're gonna have to do some walking. So we got The Walking Dead, issue 19 from 2005. Robert Kirkman and Charlie Adlard was doing the work on this book. Adlard took over, I think, after issue 7 as the artist. But if you guys weren't familiar with issue 19, this is first appearance of Michonne, probably one of the best characters in The Walking Dead, and I think one of Robert Kirkman's favorite characters. He actually had, I think he had this character written way before The Walking Dead and was trying to find a good book to add her into the story. So he really just wanted this lone character with a samurai sword that would just tear stuff up, and this where became a good time to add her into the story. Well, at San Diego Comic-Con last year, they announced that there would be a Rick and Michonne spin-off series, which I think is already going into place as we speak. And spike this book a little more. We're going to see some more Michonne and Rick together on the little screen, the small screen. I know they announced 2 other spin-offs along with this as well. I think Carol got a spin-off as well, and Negan too. They're getting their own.
Okay,
Maggie and Negan, and then Carol and Daryl, I think, is the other combo that we're doing them. So
I like Daryl.
It's been good. The show was excellent show. I actually think the Michonne character in the show is actually better than in the show than in the comics. She kind of starts out really strong in the comics, and then kind of just is this character in the background that kills stuff. Doesn't really interact as much with the other characters as she could. But we'll see how this goes. I don't know. The show, I think a lot of people went on maybe longer than it should have. Obviously, they kind of went the whole run of the comic books, but 11 seasons of the TV show. I think people were a little tired of The Walking Dead, and now we're going to get 3 spin-offs too, so it's going to be hard to say how many people jump onto the new spin-offs and watch. I mean, they even had Fear the Walking Dead as well, but we'll see. I think this always should be a great key, and it breaks my heart that a lot of these independent books aren't lasting keys the major 3 are, or at least the major 2 tend to be over the years. Obviously, they have more time behind them, but you know how that goes.
Well, anyways, this book a year ago was Walking Horde. It was a horde of zombies. Everybody was loving it. They were so excited because in a CGC 9.6, it was selling for $325. Now it's $178 for 9.6. Range 171 is close to the lowest it's ever been in a year. High is 350. Average sales 271. It's a 45% drop. It's a classic cover. It's a modern key, guys, with a TV show that will have a lasting effect on the community. For years to come, people will be watching, new people be rewatching it, other people get into it. So I think this book is going to be awesome about another 20 years around. And it's going to be one of those TMNT kind of we need to get super low print run. It's a fantastic
It does
book.
have that low print run effect like TMNT, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and to get a 9.6 for $170 something, I mean, that's one of the books that might be going after, because interesting enough, the 9.6 has dropped. The 9.8 is slightly leveled out, probably because the show is about to come out. Really weird. Why would it have such a big difference in 9.8 and 9.6? That's something that could be talked about in the community. What do you guys think that is? Why do you think there's such a big price difference in the amount that has dropped?
Probably investment too, I would think. The 9.8 is more of an investment book. 9.6 is for fans.
Oh, 9.6 to 9.8 is almost.
It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be, but it is. That's a story for another day. All right, let's get back to the duo in the Silver Age. We got Tales of Suspense 94 from 1967. Stan Lee and Jack Kirby again at number 2. And if you guys didn't know, this is first appearance of MODOK. Zach, do you know the MODOK?
No, it's something killing.
Mechanized organism designed only for
killing.
Yep.
That's all I need to know.
Yeah, this is a really cool key. It's surprisingly expensive in high grade, but at San Diego Comic-Con last year, they confirmed that MODOK would be the villain, one of the villains in Ant-Man 3, and Corey Stoles would reprise the role, who we all know played Yellow Jacket in the first movie. And I think people are really excited about this. I know a lot of how he looked got leaked early before the movie even came out, so a lot of people were unhappy with how he looked anyways. It didn't bother me that much when I watched it, but I know it bothered a lot of people. I thought it was fun to see him back, even though that was totally not how the comics went, but it doesn't always have to be the same as the comics. And maybe, the CGI or the way they stretched his face out was a little janky, but I don't know, it was cool. I thought there were some funny parts at the end, where he was like, oh, I'm an Avenger now, and, but yeah. I don't know. I was okay with it. Obviously, many of you were not okay with it because it's now on the drop list at the number 2 book and Zach will hit you with those giant head gains.
All right. It was having a big head a year ago. Ha ha ha. At a CDC 8.0, it was selling for $431. Not too bad of a price for a high-grade Silver Age book. Now it's even cheaper. The head has popped. It's at $216 for 8.0. So range 216 is lowest it's been in a year. To a high is $490. Average sales $379. It's a 50% drop, guys. That's huge for a Silver Age classic book. This is one of those books where it's kind of half in, half out. I think you should buy it. You should definitely get it raw. Graded, I'd probably just find a high grade copy and get it graded. But interesting enough, AIM is still here to stay. Mm-hmm. So AIM is very, very big. Same thing with Hydra. So I think if they did Hydra, they're going to do AIM pretty soon. So this would be a good book for that kind of spec. At this price, I think you have a good chance of getting a hefty return on your investment. ROI.
Yeah. The cartoon world loves MODOK. I swear he's like in every Marvel Kids cartoon, more than he is even in the comics. They use him for like every cartoon. Like, oh, here's a cool bad guy that we can use. It's like, he looks great as a cartoon character. They just couldn't redo it. Yeah. All right. For the number one book on the list, we're going to have to get a little wet. Because it's the Submariner #1 from 1968. John Buscema, Roy Thomas, one of Zach's all-time favorite books. The first Neymar solo series in the Silver Age. And also the origin of Neymar. It's a great cover. So Tanak Hirota took the stage at San Diego Comic-Con last year and announced he would be the actor portraying Namor in Wakanda Forever, the sequel to Black Panther 1, and it was awesome. He did a great job. I mean, fantastic. Relatively unknown to most of us. I didn't know who he was until then, but it worked out really well, and they had the whole Aztec play, which I think was really smart. Instead of going the Atlantean thing, you know, they kind of mixed them together in like Aztec Atlanta. Worked really well for the series. Gives them, you know, a rich backstory to go off of. You know, it's kind of close to a blue chip key. You got kind of that like Iron Man #1, Submariner #1, not their first appearances. Then they got that cool book where they're together, you know, like before that. Cool stuff. You know, for a long time they were both kind of cheaper, and they over like the past like 2 years they finally gotten their just desserts. I think the Iron Man book has done a little bit better than the Submariner, even though they were close to equal for a while. Obviously not now, because it's at the #1 spot of the week. But I don't count him out, because Submariner's coming back. And out of all these characters, he's going to be the one that's getting his solo title. For sure, there's going to be a Submariner movie. But would they call it Submariner, or would they call it Namor?
I don't know.
Or would they call it something else?
Probably Neymar.
You think so?
Yep.
That'd be interesting.
Think so.
We'll have to see. Think it'll be a TV show? Think it'll be a movie? Think it'll be a mini-series? I hope it's a movie.
No, yeah.
Yeah, it'll be good. But who's the villain? Zach will give you the numbers. Right here.
It's a Tuma. He made a splash a year ago with a CDC 9.2 at $2,210. This is very close to a blue chip key at that time. Now, it's a brown chip key. It's
a brown chip.
It has dried up, guys. It's at $928 for the same grade. 9.2. Crazy. You have to consider that book. You have to consider that. A 9.2 for less than $1,000. Just shy less of $1,000. Range, $928 to $2,650.
It's at the low.
$1,553 is the average. It's a 58% drop. This is the biggest drop I've ever seen for a Silver Age book that I can remember. If I'm a liar, prove it. I dare you.
Double dog?
Double dog, dare you. Anyways, yeah, I think that's a really good book to pick up. A really great Silver Age book. So you know, like a 4.0, like that book right there, you probably pick up for a steal of a deal. It's going to be eventually like second tier blue chip key. It's going to be second tier. Yeah. You know, like you got the A team and then you got the B team. And it's a fantastic book. People are going to love this character, I think. I think this actor has a lot of potential. I think so, and that character does too. So yeah, I would say that would be probably the #1 pick.
#1 pick of the week?
The bargain. The Walking Dead 19.6?
Yeah.
Ooh, $178?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just hearing it. I'm hearing it scream, it should be worth $600.
A show.
A show.
Yeah, a little whisper in the ear.
Tell you something you might like to hear.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's what I think.
Cool. Good picks, guys. Good picks. Yeah, I think definitely like with Submariner 2, he has so many keys. He's got all his Golden Age keys and then his Silver Age keys. You know, people are, you got like Fantastic Four #4, and then you have the Fantastic Four annual #1 too. So many good Silver Age keys for him. So it's hard to choose just one. You might as well get them all. All right, guys. As usual, if you like and love the show as much as we love doing this, do us a huge favor and hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the notification bell so you always know when new things are going down. We do like to go live on Wednesdays, and we love to see you there and hang out live and in person. And leave a comment down below. We actually filmed this before San Diego Comic-Con of 2023, so definitely leave some updates of 2023. Any new spec gains that might come out from there. Maybe don't know if we'll be able to do this in 2024 if they didn't have any actors there to do any big announcements. But we'll see. Anyway, Zach, you got anything else?
You gotta share. How you do that is you have to get some sharks with some freaking laser beams, take them to San Diego Comic-Con, and be cosplay as their favorite doctor that happens to be evil. Dr. Evil. Hopefully you have a cooler son than what he had. Because he's the Diet Coke of evil.
Just 1 calorie.
Not quite enough.
All right, guys.
Sorry, Scotty.
Until we see you next time, stay safe and remember.
Get those Bigglesworth gains.
Get 'em.
Mr. Bigglesworth.